He was known as the Red Napoleon, one of the foremost military geniuses of the last century, a school teacher and journalist who became a communist, a revolutionary, and a military strategist, a guerrilla leader who ended the French colonial occupation of his country and then fought on against the U.S. forces, who ultimately retreated as well. Giap was born into a family of rice farmers when Vietnam was better known as Indochina, an impoverished corner of the French Empire in Southeast Asia. Communist rebels under Ho Chi Minh began their war of independence against the French in 1951. Giap was the second most prominent figure in the fight, and his fame only grew after the 1954 siege of Dien Bien Phu. The battle lasted nearly 2 months and claimed thousands of lives, but in the end, Giap's guerrilla army was victorious. The French, stunned by the setback, left Vietnam that same year. With the victory of Dien Bien Phu, we put the name of Vietnam on the map of the world, he told one interviewer. Vietnam got a place on American maps in particular, when Washington committed its own growing number of forces to a Cold War campaign to defend South Vietnam against the communist-run North. General Giap led his people in what they came to refer to as the American War, and was the mastermind of what may have been its decisive encounter, the Tet Offensive of 1968, a surprise attack that targeted dozens of cities in South Vietnam. The U.S. Embassy was even briefly overrun. Both sides suffered heavy casualties before the offensive was eventually repulsed, and the war dragged on for years, but the offensive is remembered as a major turning point in the conflict, a blow to American confidence. It was one more reason Giap was considered a hero by many Vietnamese and communists worldwide. He lived out his years in Hanoi, in a French villa, receiving accolades, interviewers, and guests. The Red Napoleon died peacefully, aged 102. Jonathan Mann, CNN.